Ta-da! Look what I got. Look at what I got.
How much was all that?
It was free.
No. How much did you spend on it?
They gave it to me.
So you're not going to tell me how much that was?
It was like, $30.
You paid $30 for all that?
I have a new cinema rig. It's not the Canon R5C, it's not the Panasonic S1H, it's not even the Sony FX3 or the Blackmagic 4 or 6K. I'm going to show you all the tasty bits that make up this beauty and why I picked it. So stick around, because you're about to learn something. I'm not going to drag this one out. I'm sure you're sitting there with a pile of Cheetos on your lap and the blinds all drawn on a beautifully sunny day thinking, get on with it. So I will. It's the Sony A74, and it's perfect for my uses. Now let me explain. It's housed in the Tilta A74 cage. I purchased 12-inch rails, which is the perfect length for everything I might want to throw on it. It has the Tilta Mirage matte box with a set of Vaxis ND filters and a pair of Cinepacks full and half mist filters. This allows me to change lenses without having to mess about with the filters I'm using. The follow focus is the wireless Nucleus Nano, which down the road could even be attached to a separate monitor if you need a DP and separate focus puller. But for now, it's just mounted on top of the right handle that I can adjust using my thumb. I can use autofocus lenses on this in a pinch when I really need to nail focus and the camera's moving, but I much prefer to take my time and use my collection of vintage Canon FD lenses that I modded myself. More on these lenses in another video. I also just recently purchased the new Sirui 75mm anamorphic full-frame T2.9 from Indiegogo, and I am in love with this lens for short films and music video use. That will also be an upcoming video, so make sure to like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss my reviews and cinematic footage from these two very different lens types with this rig. For my audio, I'm using the new Zoom F3 32-bit recorder going directly into the camera via 2 channels. Since it's 32-bit, I can set it and forget it and never worry about it clipping or being too low. It's so easy. It's like I've been feeding it White Russians all night. The cocktail, not actual. I must break you. There are 2 classic Sennheiser EW112P receivers mounted on either side so that I can have a double lavalier microphone system or one lavalier and a shotgun mic on a boom being fed into the Zoom F3. And since the audio is baked directly into the footage, I don't have to worry about syncing it in post. On top is the tried and true Atomos Ninja 5. I record everything on the 4TB drive that's attached to the back and never have to worry about running out of space or overheating the camera. It allows me to do a D-squeeze in the monitor when I'm using anamorphic lenses, and it has the S-Log to Rec. 709 conversion LUT from Leeming active so I can make sure my exposure is where I want it to be. All of this is powered by the Moman 99 watt-hour D-Tap battery mounted on the Hawk-Woods VLM DC6X mini V-Lock battery plate, which I can plug all the accessories into and turn all on or off with one flick of the switch. I have a few of these batteries to last the day and they recharge extremely quickly. So now I'm sure you're asking, why didn't you get the FX3 or the Canon R5C or any number of other cameras that might be more suitable to cinematic filming? Well, here's why. Number 1, price. For a little more than one Sony FX3, I can buy a second A74 as my camera B, which is exactly what I did. Because of that, I don't have to worry about making my footage match between 2 cameras that have different sensors and colors when editing. Also, I have one camera in this big cinematic rig, and one that is free to be used either as my day-to-day photography camera, or it can be mounted on a smaller gimbal and be ready at a moment's notice without having to break down the rig to get the camera out and then mount and balance on a gimbal back and forth all day long during a shoot. With the money I saved, I was able to purchase the Tilta rig and all the other attached goodies I've put on it. And lastly, because of the higher resolution, I can shoot interviews and talking head videos with one camera and punch in when filming in 4K and have it still look nice and crispy. Which brings me to the one major issue, besides overheating, that most people have with this camera, and that is the crop when trying to film in 60 frames per second in 4K. However, there's a pretty simple solution to this. The new Samsung 12mm f2 autofocus lens for APS-C cameras would be roughly an 18mm equivalent when placed on the A74, and you could still film smooth 60 frames per second slow motion goodness with an ultra-wide field of view, and that lens is actually extremely affordable. So now, let's see this baby in action with both the vintage Canon FD lenses and the new Sirui 75mm anamorphic lens. Enjoy.
If you could move anywhere in the world, where would it be? somewhere where everything moves slower. I'm just tired.
Yeah, I get that.
I know that you want to move somewhere where beards are bred and made. What did you say earlier? Where beards get famous? Is there a place you can do that?
I think Iceland might be the place.
I think we could move. We could move onto a long ship that was made into a house.
That would be pretty awesome.
And you could be like Floki, the boat builder, building boats all day, long ships.
Yeah.
And I could sacrifice animals to Odin and like paint my face with blood.
Maybe we should not get a long ship for a house.
Gentlemen, have either of you ever experienced a time where you forgot something?
I have never forgotten a 4 terabyte SD card on the back of my camera for a shoot today.
I'd love to interview you for my documentary on men who forget things.